Good evening and welcome back to another episode of the SRA Grid Report. Back with my good friend Bailey Kish. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing good enough, shall we say. I got attacked by the vid.
Yeah, Bailey's been attacked by the vid. I've been attacked by just the common cold. Everyone's doing fabulous over here, but we're back to bring you another show because we
Absolutely.
we can't stay away.
Can't miss it.
No, but before we get started, gonna go over this week's show. We're gonna touch on the results from this week's race at Misano. We're going to look ahead to next week's race at Brands Hatch. We're not taking another week off. Uh, Friday we've got Multiclass Mayhem taking round 2 Dakota. We've got the 5 hours at Imola coming up in 2 weeks. F1 testing, if you don't have enough going on in your life, is also just starting this weekend. And the SRA team is heading to the 24 hours of Indy this weekend. So we'll go over all that's happening in and around the league, but let's start where we always do. Division number 6. But before we start there, I think we should give a little bit of a background on Misano and what it's like to race there. Misano's got a lot of twisty half braking zones, weight transfer, a lot of you pick one line and that's the best line to go, and a lot of abuse of the track limits. Um, It really leads to a lot of tough battling. What do you think, Bailey?
For sure. And I think all across all divisions it showed with people not being able to overtake, or there wasn't very many opportunities because anytime you'd gain, you could lose it all in the next corner, or you track the track cut monster would come and get you, and boom, there's your drive through. So I definitely agree with everything you said, and I would probably put money on everybody agreeing with you.
Yeah, the track cut monster was definitely out to play this week, especially in those corners like turn 3 where it seems to be kind of steady, but it actually really sharpens off in the back half of the corner, right where you need to be at where you're at like that critical level of grip. But
Yeah,
we all got a taste of that, and I'm sure we're ready to move on to the track where you can't take track limits, but you can take a mouthful of dirt.
absolutely.
So Division 6, we've got Patrick Brady taking pole position with a 134.5, which is good enough to take, I think, third place in D5 qualifying. Justin Rose taking second place, and Mike Dyer taking third. And they held the same positions to go through the whole race. Patrick taking the win, Justin taking second, and Mike taking third. All within about half half a second, couple tenths of each other, not too far apart. Division 6 didn't get a broadcast or a recording this week. We were a little bit down on staff, so we weren't able to watch the race back, but word around the Discord is it wasn't too bad.
No, and they've been working for improvement, so that's good to hear.
Definitely. That's the one thing I always give Division 6 kudos for is they know that they're for the most part a grouping of people who are a little bit newer to racing, a little bit more on the like I really like playing the game, but I need to work on like my ability to race and my ability to this, my ability to that. They're all at different stages of their
Hmm.
racing careers, but they're all working together to improve.
And learn at the same time. I
E-
mean, you even got people who are learning to play the game for the first time.
exactly. And when we get up to Division 2, we can talk about people who were like just learning how to play this game for the first time, because
Yeah,
that was an interesting conversation in the post race review.
yeah,
But
odd mix.
odd mix. Division number 5 sees Cube Master take a pole position of 134.4. Ethan Marvin taking second place right on his tail with another 34.4, and Jeffrey Lutz in third. Uh, for the race, Cube Master once again proving that he was not making this a one off, and he really did want to go for that overall championship, going flag to flag for the win. Justin Rutledge coming out of nowhere to take second place, and Jitesh Katavkar making up for some mishaps last week and taking third place. They also unfortunately did not get a broadcast this week. I'm really bummed about that because that's normally my division to broadcast, and these guys are an absolute hoot to watch race, and I'm always encouraging people to go back and watch it. But fortunately, we did not get to do that. Um, Just a lot of talent coming out of Division Five, though.
Absolutely, and we see a lot of people improve quick in Division Five. Q Master, you're one of them. Shout out Q Master for the win, bringing home Ghost Rider Racing another win. So Q Master, you're the man.
Shouting it out, and to show the amount of skill that he's had this season with the big switch up in car that is going from the McLaren to the Porsche, uh, shows he's not no one trick pony.
No, definitely putting in the practice and the time on track. So it's definitely showing, and it's definitely paying off for him.
Caps off to you, Cube Master. I'll do a few solves tonight in your honor.
Oh, how about that?
Uh, Division 4. Looking at Josh Schlitz taking pole position with a 133.5. Alex Davidoff coming in second with a 33.9. And Colin Dunham in third with a 34.2. And we see Josh also take the win from pole position, something that's become a little bit of a trend here so far. And Colin and Alex switching places. We've got our resident D4 in-house reporter here. What you got for us, Bailey?
Ah, yes, and coming from the pit lane here, the paddock. Uh, just a report on the race. See if I can do this in one breath with my COVID. Josh Litz. Just one thing to note: 33.5 would have put him really close to pole in Division Two. So that's just something to throw out there for everybody. Um, his race
That's
was no different.
30.
When he,
Hold on.
yeah, yeah,
Div, po, almost
yeah,
Division 2 pole?
yeah, yep,
Hold on.
yeah. One of these things just doesn't belong here.
We'll see you soon, buddy.
He'll be in front of us,
Yeah, probably.
probably. But yeah, no different in the race, winning by 15 seconds plus. But on the other hand, wow, words are hard right now. Um, Colin Dunham and Alex Davidoff had a battle for the ages for P2. The entire race, all the way up to the 55-minute mark, Alex Davidoff had him behind him for the entirety of the race. I can't imagine what Colin was thinking. I'm sure he was frustrated for the entire time, but actually found a way to get past Colin, or not get past Colin, get past Alex, sorry, and secure P2. He did drive away at the end, but very well fought battle between those two. Very clean and very fast at the same time.
That's. I'm proud of you, man. You made it through that.
Yeah, I need to go see a doctor real quick, get an inhaler.
So while Bailey goes on the injured reserve,
Sorry.
we're going to take a look at Division 3 here. Zach Dupuis takes pole position with a 133.5. Dustin Fickert coming in second place with a 33.7. And Sam Reck in second place with the exact same time. Aston Martin's all over the board in the Division 3 qualifying. In the race, though, Dustin Fickert managed to take the win, Sam Reck pulling up in second place, and Turner Johnson coming home to take that final podium position. The Armamentario Academy Apex Hunters taking, I believe, their first win of the season. Either way, a pretty strong win. Only a 3 second gap, but I mean, it's good to get the wins early. Got to get the points under your belt.
Yeah, just looking once again touching on the D4 pull time. The D4 pull time and the D3 pull time are split by 52 hundredths of a second.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've already
yeah,
said it. One of these things is not like the other. Uh,
exactly.
the
I mean,
what do you?
top three in D2 is 33.3, so we're talking 2/10 here.
Wow. I
Yeah, it's kind of
I don't know.
scary.
The equalization or moving around will definitely put some people into more competitive fields for themselves. But it's also kind of awesome seeing this. It's just like holy cow, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one from previous seasons that stands out the most was crap. Why can't I think of his name?
I don't
Why
think
can't I think
Crap
of his
ever raced
name?
for us. I think he
No,
was only a steward.
Oh shoot, it'll come to me. But I I don't remember. But he was D3 and now he's D1.
D3 and now D1.
Drove the Lexus.
Um,
It'll come to
Dan
me.
Cran?
Dan Cran. It was something with a D. Yeah, Dan Cran stands out to me about most improved from last season, and I see a lot of people following in his footsteps here.
I'm sorry to put the shame on Dan Cran, but I think that crown 250% goes to Kelvin Lau.
Kellen Laus has been a little slower, but sure.
I mean, Kelvin went from D5 to the top of D2.
Yeah.
As we move on to D2 there, Gomer Wilson in pole with a 33-1, John Crown in second, and Kelvin Lau in third. And in the race, Gomer takes the win. Kelvin comes home in second, and Runya Over comes home in third. Um, Kelvin gets my vote all day, every day for most improved driver. Last night in that post race review, he told me that he's still learning how to play ACC. He came
Yeah,
from
I could say that
F1
too, though.
and he came from F1 and is just learning how to drive, essentially learning how to drive GT cars while being in this league.
That's what
And
happened to
in
me.
one season, he's climbed 4 divisions in pace. That is insane.
Um, Kelvin, if you're listening, there's this nice green thing outside. It rhymes with brass. You should touch it.
I wouldn't really recommend going around touching garage or trash,
Trash. Oh Lord.
but
Oh Lord.
all I gotta say is last night Kelvin's improvement was compared to none other than the great Daehee Yun.
Daddy Daehee.
Daddy Daehee, the new, I believe the newest father in SRA,
I'm not sure if that's
newest announced
it's probably
to
true,
my
but I'm
memory.
not sure if that's the actual statistic, shall we say? But
Yeah, we don't really
what
keep
I'm
track of that kind of stuff.
what I'm getting from this is you're saying that Kevin Lau's gonna have a kid soon.
Yeah, he's gotta go on his cruise.
Oh
You
yes,
know,
the yeah, from
improve, become a steward, code
all those
half the
gifted
Discord,
subs.
and then go on his cruise.
There you go. That sounds ideal.
That's the glory life. But the D2 race, I didn't fare too well. I was out relatively early.
Yeah.
How did your race go? Besides our
My
little
race,
meetup.
my race was a roller coaster to say the least. Started off on a real low, lost about 6 positions or so. Um, Nobody was pretty friendly on the beginning first lap, but hey, we move. I came back eventually. Then your boy Josh Damiani decided to play. He wanted to see what my bumper smelled like.
Smelled like pain.
There you go. Yeah, you definitely got off worse than I did. But after that, it was kind of smooth sailing until the pits. Got out of the pits, and then I had a battle all the way to the end of the race. So it felt like it took way longer than an hour, shall we say?
It's
Especially accidentally turning off the car
yeah,
mid
that's
race.
how do you
Talented,
manage to do that?
talented. I was trying to meme, and the meme bit me in the ass. So yeah, it's trying to flash Doug, and the flasher is right next to the ignition.
Damn.
So might be changing some buttons around.
I would be. I would be.
Yeah, yeah,
When I got my Fanatec wheel, I was staring at it for a good 10 minutes, and I'm like, "All right, let's think about where we're going to put these buttons here." And
yeah.
it's got the N and P buttons, and they're like enclosed in this hard circle thing, so you can't push them from the side. You have to
Mm,
push them straight on. I'm like, ignition and starter, done.
yeah.
Cause
Now, which wheel do you have? Which Fanatec wheel?
I have the McLaren GT3.
Oh, okay. Because I have the Fanatec V2, which has the 26 buttons, and for some reason in my head it was smart to put a button that's very important and a button that's not very important next to each other,
Oh,
and yeah, I could have
gotta love
chose
it.
23 other places. So
Oh well, live and learn, right?
exactly,
I made
pain.
that mistake changing my what I used to have my pit limiter button in on my sorry positionally on my Logitech wheel to the wiper button positionally on my Logitech or on my Fanatec wheel. So the first race I did, I went into the pit lane and I dropped down into into
Disqualified.
first and fucking hit the button, go to hit the gas, and I just got my wiper on. I'm going 80 in the pits.
Oh
Like,
no.
no, man, this is not
Oh,
what we
that's
need.
not ideal.
Yeah,
That's pain.
but hey, like I said, you gotta live and learn.
But yeah, quick shout out to run you over. Another Ghost Rider Racing podium, and I believe leading the D2 driver standings at the moment.
Caps off to them. I love the name and I love the effort coming out like an absolute menace in the early races so far.
Well, I got something even better for you. His teammate's name is Guy Manperson.
I love that name as well.
So heck of a team there.
That is
Couple of
Guy
memers.
Manperson and Run You
Yeah.
Over.
Yes. Heck yes.
Oh man,
Representing.
those sound like people I want to do business with.
Oh, it's fun. It's entertaining in the Discord, I'll tell you that.
Must be. Last, but as always, definitely not least, Division number 1. Saw Travis Nordstrom take a pole position of 132.7. Diego
Yeah.
Paul Fimbres Casas comes second place with a 132.7. And Fazli Majid comes in third with a 132.7. What?
That's insane in the membrane.
It had all three of us in the booth just like, what the hell is going on out here in D1? And like Fosli's in the silver split, so he did that early, and we're like, what are
Hmm.
we gonna get out of gold then if silver's doing this? Like, are we about to see 31s? Which I think I would have got up and
Uh
walked out of the booth if I saw one.
30 31s might be past what esports does.
I think I think so. I
I
don't know.
don't I don't I think the lowest I saw for like any of the Go guys was low 32s. Maybe a 31, but I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing a 31. But we were checking. We were checking.
We are checking. I'm currently on the Coach Dave website, AMR
Oh,
Vantage GT3. Let me
I'll check
see.
the Go setups. See what they are saying here. God, I'm
Sounds
getting
good.
voice
Misano is
cracks
a
from them.
133.2.
What?
Misano is a 133.2 in the AMR V8.
Something ain't right.
Something definitely ain't right.
Something definitely ain't right.
But either way, like wherever the esports times are, we don't even have to check. And just knowing these times, like going off of what the big guys are doing in like track walks and stuff and hot lap breakdowns and whatnot. It's like
Yeah.
I watched the Nils video and he was low 33s in the Beamer, and I'm like, okay, that's got to be pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be
Uh,
PFG.
Dude, I wish I could read this. So small, but what I can confirm is if I zoom in a bit, where's my zoom button? There it is. My Sano times 32.2, 32.3, 32.2. I don't see any 31s all the way across the board.
That's nuts. Oh, that's kind of funny. I'm on Google and I looked up go set up lap times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth website on my search is simracingalliance.com. Reference lap
How
times
about
about us.
how we're we're famous.
We're higher than lapmaster.io.dk. Take
Who's
that.
that, huh? Like who is that?
I don't even know.
He ain't Sim Racing Alliance.com.
.com, where you can get
Sorry.
all of your reference laps.
Exactly.
But moving past the qualifying and just being in awe and how damn fast these guys are, the race saw Jeff Spangler take the win, Nicholas Alvarado take second place, and Diego Paul Fimbres Casas hold on to third place in the Beamer. He had a hell of a battle near the end. Diego was battling with, I forget who it was, but they were
Was it
battling.
Nicholas?
I I might have been Nicholas. I
Because they're
believe
split by 3/10. So,
they they were fighting for the lead. They had came together and both of the cars spun out. And I don't remember if it was the same two that caught back up to each other. I wasn't in
mm,
control of the race control that night, so I wasn't completely on top of stuff. but Jeff Spangler ran off of a similar strategy we saw from Ian Byron last week in Division 5, just kind of slowly making his way up to an obvious battle and just setting himself up to reap the benefits. And when that mistake happened, he just walked right on by the two of them and ran off into the distance.
Now, there's two things I noticed from this. One, Travis Nordstrom. Do you happen to remember what happened to him?
I do not. I do not remember what happened to Travis Nordstrom.
Because he was just the pole sitter, and he's nowhere on the race leaderboard. Well, the top three, sorry, shall I say.
There was a lot that went on at the very start of the race. Like Matt Lehman's VR kind of pooched on him, and he had no
Oh.
display as soon as he got towards turn one. And a few cars came
Oh,
together. Yeah, sent him off the track. We were looking back at that, and then there were a bunch of Porsches going all over the place. There was, I think, two drivers who got drive-throughs off the start. We couldn't even keep up with the drive-throughs and stop-goes that were
wow.
going on during the race. Just every time we'd move through the leaderboard, another person would get assigned one. I'm gonna have to
That's
go out on a
brutal.
limb and say he was assigned one,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah,
other
that
than
makes
that,
sense.
I mean,
Now, excuse me, sorry. Just trying to breathe again. But
yeah,
the second thing I noticed is that the most famous guy in Sim Racing Alliance is not on here anywhere. And his name
Mr.
is Ryan Yee.
Ryan Yee. Yes. If I remember correctly, Ryan did not show up.
Ryan finished fifth.
Ryan finished fifth. Who was it that did not show
Were
up?
you there? Were
I
you
was
there?
there. Who was the big name that did not show up?
Matt Lehman.
No, he didn't finish.
Was it one of the Armamentario guys?
No, there was somebody else. Someone at the top of the championship who didn't show up.
Um, who else be up there?
I don't remember.
Trying to think off the top of my head.
I believe Ryan was. You
Was
know
it an
what?
alien?
I don't think it was an alien. You know, I wish I just like had information. So
Was it?
Ryan qualified fourth, right behind Nick Alvarado, and or
Mhm.
right in front of Nick Alvarado, and Fosley was kind of pulling up to Diego and Travis.
Was it Mr. Sir?
Yes, that's who it was. It was Mr. Sir that
Yes.
didn't show up.
I actually have
It
the
was
reasoning for that.
it was the other short name.
Yeah, Mr. Sir has been having PC issues all week. Whenever he tried to load a game, PC would crash.
Ooh, that's a
So
damn
we've
shame.
been trying to talk him down a little bit. He's been very depressed, espresso depresso this week. Uh, was super bummed about missing the race because he was feeling very, very good.
That's always a shame when it's things
So
that aren't in your control keeping you from
yeah,
racing.
yeah, especially because he was putting a lot of practice in before the PC died on him.
Yeah, but trying to recapture this, Ryan and Nick were fighting, trying to get past Fosley for quite a while, and then as Fosley started to fall back, Nick and Ryan began to move forwards. Part of me wants to think it was Ryan that Diego came together with.
Mm,
It was just like that race felt like a formation lap. It was like 30 minutes in, and all of the dots were still together. There was like
that's
two or three
crazy.
groups of them, but there was 10 to 15 cars in each.
Yeah,
It was nuts.
that's the
And
crazy thing. That's like almost all the divisions. But to see it
yeah,
in Division One especially, it's very
it's
entertaining.
it's cra- it's crazier the farther you get up the grid because the cars are just doing it at a faster pace and they're more
Yeah,
confident in their moves and they're going for more moves, harder moves.
because you have to.
Yeah, you have to
You have
find a way
you have to
past.
go harder. Yeah,
But
that's the main issue is they're quicker, which makes it way harder to pass.
no doubt. And
But one
looking
thing.
I was gonna
Sorry,
say, looking through the race, like even though he didn't get up to the top, Ryan did have the fastest lap of the race.
I wouldn't I wouldn't put him any less. The last thing I was gonna say about the Division One race was that Fimbres Casas is Diego Fimbres Casas back?
I think so. He last night when he came up for his interview sounded extremely energetic, extremely happy. It sounded like the old Diego. He's like, I found a little bit of a place with this BMW. I'm ready to throw all of last season in the garbage. I'll
Hmm.
take anything after the way that went. And yeah, I hope he's back because he was a threat.
Yeah, I mean, P2 qualifying, P3 race result. That's good signs. So I know he was kind of finding some pace in the Audi at the end of the season. Maybe it was a little bit of confidence and momentum, and I'm not sure what happened at Barcelona for him, but to see him back up here is a good sign to see.
No doubt. We're all very happy to see the GIF master back up at the top.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean that's the duality of trying to experiment with a new car, right? Like you're kind of testing your own skill against your ability to adapt. And then also if you can't get the car to adapt, then you're fighting that mental block to be able to learn the car and learn it on the track that you're going to and try to go fast. Like I don't know, it's very tough. I found that with the McLaren, I just kind of hit a bit of a mental block and it's like I'm not enjoying any of this. I
Yeah,
may be
that's how I am in the
improving, I may
Porsche.
be kind of finding it, but I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I am right now at this moment. And I've only done one race, so
Well, you've got 6 more to go.
yeah, couldn't come quicker.
It's it'll be fun. I mean the Porker's a tough one. I remember when we started SRA, everyone was absolutely terrified of it.
I am still,
I mean,
so let's hope it gets better.
yeah, hope she gets better for you. But
Especially for Brands Hatch.
no doubt, Brands Hatch is a track that's gonna demand everything you got. If you didn't like Laguna Seca, you ain't gonna like this either. Take all the tough uphill corners, make them downhill. Take all the tough fast corners, make them slow, and put grass everywhere.
Yes, I'd say this track compared to any other track in ACC is the most similar to, I would say, a Monaco race.
Yeah, I could I could say that a little bit.
Not a lot of opportunity to overtake, and I feel like the next corner is always just coming at you so fast.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good way to look at it. I didn't think about that before.
That's kind of what I relate this track to, which is why I think a lot of people actually enjoy it because it's so technical and the margin of error is so small.
Definitely, definitely. The those tracks, like especially sector. I'm not good with the turn numbers here, but sector 3, you've got that. You come down the hill, you come up the hill, and you've got that off balance right hander that's like
Hmm.
90% blind.
I was gonna say, which is also blind.
Hate that corner with a passion. But when
Yeah,
you hit
it's
it right, it
oh, it feels
feels
so
like
good.
anything you've ever done in sim racing could not match up to
Yes,
that.
yeah, that's for sure. I also feel the same about, I believe it's turn 5, the uphill leftings, like the sweeping uphill left, that goes to the long mid straight there.
Yeah,
Same one with that one because that one's kind of blind as well. And when you hit the exit just right, you're like, that's a win. You could get 35th, and that's a win
every day of the week. And like you said, it's just kind of what draws people back. It's a good track.
for sure.
But as you can tell, that's where we're headed next week for race number 3. We are moving to a 55-minute pit window this week. Another experimentation for the books. I think the longer pit windows are definitely favored by the crowd. I was definitely wishing that we had one last night,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Being a lap down to the field before the pit window, I mean, things happen, but pit window, please, long one. That's
Well,
okay.
you got it. You
Yeah,
got almost the maximum amount. pit window.
I think that is the maximum amount. I don't think you can make it the whole race.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say 2.5 minutes on each side is not much of a not pit window.
Yeah. So
Uh,
essentially, it's going to be by the time you
the
get around
first
on your
lap.
out lap or your that first lap, it's going to be ready to
Yeah,
open. So those
and
first lap
and
incident people can get in and get a valid pit stop and fix their damage. So that could really
exactly,
shake up the strategies.
exactly. You beat me to it. That's what I was gonna say. But yeah, I'm definitely sure that a lot of people have needed it the last two races.
Definitely. It's an interesting point. We've got a lot of drivers who are becoming very, very, very fast, and a lot of drivers who are becoming very, very, very talented, and we're all just kind of button heads. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how Brands Hatch is going to play out, because there's not much
yeah.
room to go 2 and 3 wide.
It's gonna take a lot of patience.
No doubt. The big P word.
Yeah. Um, there's probably gonna be a lot of self-inflicted wounds at Brands Hatch as the runoff is either gravel, grass, or a wall. There's not much rubbered section for you to save any mistakes.
Agreed. Yeah. The I think the big corner of problem is going to be turn 2. That hairpin always seems to prove issues, and just I don't know, something about that inside line. There's just no grip if you miss your braking zone even slightly.
Yeah.
Pretty much guaranteed to hit a few cars. But I mean, we've got a lot of faith and a lot of time and effort into our practicing here, so I'm not predicting any big incidents, but Brands Hatch kind of forces it upon cars sometimes.
Yeah. Depending where I'm at, I might hope for it.
More,
More.
more.
Mm. Yes. That's some good water.
Mm,
Good H2O.
agua.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, week
yeah,
3.
week 3, Brands Hatch. Keep your eyes glued to the YouTube, and yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a hoot. All of these races are, no matter what kind of air quotations carnage goes on throughout the races, every single one of them is gonna be a hit,
Yeah.
and it's all leading up to that massive finale of the night wet race.
Oh boy, that one's gonna be dreadful. I already.
Bailey, you should just start practicing for it now.
I might as well.
Just get the
I might as
conditions
well.
from the admins. Like, I need to start working on this.
Yeah. Last time, funny story. This. Last time, SRA went to Silverstone in a league race. Um, you, me, and Taylor were the top 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you won that race against you and Taylor were going at it, and I was struggling to say the least in third. So
Huh.
yeah, funny story there.
Well, I can guarantee that won't be happening this week.
So if anything, if you get nothing out of this season, all you can say is up into the week of week 8 is that you're the reigning D2 Silverstone champion.
I don't got any hoot. Oh my god, I don't got any horns to toot.
Wow,
That
that
was
went sideways
horrible.
fast.
I don't got any horns to toot, but thank you for trying to compliment me.
Oh, jeez. Hey, just go win it again.
I would love to. Anything's better than last week.
I'll be a moving wall for you.
Beautiful.
I'll
Defend
do
like
my
a
best.
lion.
Yes, not with the Porsche, but we'll see.
Defend like a depressed pig.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a cat or something, a
Eh,
little Siamese cat or something,
just sits there. I don't do that. Okay.
licking my pink skin.
Jesus Christ.
Get it? Cause my car's pink.
Oh my lord. I know.
It's weird how it works
Those
out.
cars are everywhere, man. If you forget your
Yeah,
car's pink, how?
you just kind of. It's funny because you're going past and you're like, damn, that livery looks good, and you're like, oh, that's the same one I have. So
Gotta
it's a
love
good
that.
reminder. It's a
Yeah.
great reminder.
It's a
So
it's a very well done livery. It's gonna get
appreciate it.
complimented by broadcaster after uh, race watcher after racer.
I hope so because I made 45 of them. So
Your effort will not go unnoticed.
Oh, it was exhausting. But swift transition here. Tell me about this 24 hours of indie that is partaking on Saturday.
Yes, I will. So the let me get the actual name here of the people organizing it. But BBR, which stands for Big Brain Racing, is hosting the BBR 24-hour charity event for muscular dystrophy at Indianapolis this weekend. And SRA's put together a little bit of a team. We've got the likes of myself, Brandon Chan, Dom Duran, Fazli Majid, Jack Polyak, and I forget the other driver's name again because he's in here with his Discord name and not his actual racing name. Santana is his
Yes,
last
Adam
name.
Stanton.
Adam Santana. Uh, a group full of very talented drivers, and I feel like a dick for not remembering his name, but Adam is no slouch himself. Starts at I think 8 or 9 a.m. on Saturday. Um,
Oof.
so it's going to be interesting. I'm in the car closer to 10 p.m. and then I'm doing the 11 to 12 and 12 to 1 a.m. stints.
That's what I'm
So
talking about.
hell yeah, buddy. Gotta
That's what
have
I'm
some fun
talking
with it. But it's gonna be good. I think we're the only SRA car running. There's a shit ton of cars, and a lot of them are Ferraris.
Huh. That's interesting. Are, are Ferraris like really good there?
Apparently.
Huh.
Let me see if I can find the breakdown here. Someone had sent it.
That's that's news to me.
Yeah, I did not think that the Ferrari was that special. Uh,
I'm sure you're sick of endurance races at Indy. Or you're gonna be at least after this one.
oh, I will be. That is for sure.
After your solo 8 hour.
No doubt. And the biggest thing is trying to learn this thing in the Ferrari. Like I am wanting to really off myself
Oh, I
because
bet.
I have never driven the Ferrari before, and I'm also just like I need to compete with my team's pace, which is fine. I mean, I'm there, but it's just like wow, talk about a learning curve.
Yeah. That's a whole different beast.
Yeah, but looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't think we're gonna have any official esque streams on. The BBR is gonna have an actual stream, and I'm sure some of us will have our perspectives up, but
Hmm.
nothing fully SRA related. So keep your
That's
eyes
good.
out for that. But
We wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. I did find that breakdown. So far in the registrations, there's two Porsche, one Honda, five Audi, six AMR, three BMWs, four McLarens, and I'm gonna let you guess how many Ferraris there
Oh, it's a grid full?
are.
Close?
Close.
I'm gonna say 25.
16 Ferraris.
Oh, I really overshot that one.
You did, but still, like the point's still the same either way. Like a
Yeah,
massive amount of Ferraris compared to anything else.
yeah.
So
Huh.
I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I really
Yeah.
never thought the Ferrari had any sort of dominance here.
Me neither. I definitely thought that was a like a Honda or Aston Martin track for sure. But
We shall see in
oh
the
my,
race. I mean, there's I think there's some small prizes and some racing gloves on the line, so I know that
racing
reinvigorated some of
gloves
us. Yeah,
for everybody or one person?
I think set for the team, a set for each driver.
Oh,
If it's one set, I don't know how we're gonna share those, but I mean, scheduled glove leasings could become our
yeah.
next business here at SRA.
There you go. Once a week,
Yeah, do you want a
everybody
sim
gets it for
race?
the
Do you
week.
want the hardware? You can rent it.
Sim racing gloves, only one pair.
One pair. You gotta borrow the fucking left thumb.
Yep. You got to book your appointment 4 months in advance.
Exactly. I got a race on Tuesday. Sorry, bud. I don't got anything in
Sorry.
stock.
Try Tuesday in July.
Of 2026. Hey,
Yeah.
bada boom.
Get on the train, brother.
Hey, yo, get the gabagoo while you at it.
Oh, I didn't know we were into the Italian mafia now.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do, man. Making money. Speaking
All
of
right.
Italians, We should talk about
Italian.
what's going on in F1.
There's the Italians.
Because, like we said, preseason testing has been starting, but Ferrari, the nose is caving in. Like,
Yeah,
what was that?
that is a looks like somebody like fell and face planted.
Yeah, it looked like Mattia went back and kicked the car like Max did in Baku.
Yeah. Um it's interesting to say the least.
I saw many people on Twitter going, yeah, that's just common with Italian cars. They make their stuff too thin.
Like anything to save weight. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Mercedes, they're not even painting their car.
yeah. And I mean, a lot of people say they don't like it, but I think it looks menacing.
I
Like,
think they're lucky to have had a black car to go back to it because they'd be screwed.
I mean, not necessarily. The Silver Arrow did have a bunch of black on it.
Yeah, but not 98% like this one.
Fair.
You
Yeah,
know, blue stripe.
I was looking at it from the onboard cam, and it's like all the halos unpainted, all the halo winglets are unpainted, the floor is unpainted, the half the side
Yeah,
pods unpainted. Like
yeah. It's sus to say the least.
a little bit, but I mean, whatever you got to do to save weight. I forget what the actual number is, but I think it was close to 10. What was it, kilos? No, that wouldn't make sense. What was it? They brought
It
up
was
the
more than
number
that.
on the preseason testing tech talk that they did. I watched that and then immediately forgot the bit of information. But they brought up how much the weight of the paint alone on the car can be, and it's
Yeah, I
like
think it's
actually
more than
pretty
10
substantial.
kilos. Yeah. Well, a comparison I've seen quite frequently is that a 757 has 1,000 pounds of paint
Okay, I'm
on it.
sorry. What?
Yes. Fun little fact. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, kinda.
Yeah, it
But
does,
yeah,
man. We're talking about machines with aerodynamics.
yeah. So a Boeing 757 has approximately 1,000 pounds of paint.
1,000 pounds, not 1,000
Yes.
liters. 1,000
No.
pounds.
1,000 pounds.
I can't even. I can't even picture that. Like how
Let's
much
see.
that would be.
Let's see. Do you know how many pounds are in a ton?
2,000?
I think it's 20. Oh, no, you're right. It is 2,000. So that's half a ton of paint. That would fit in, that would take up half a dump truck.
Goddamn. That's a lot of paint. Holy cow.
Actually, a little more than half a dump truck.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, definitely more than 10 kilos in paint on a car, especially
yeah,
on someone like
no,
Ferrari.
yeah, um, yeah. So I think it's definitely way more than 10. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what the exact number is, especially because, um, clearly somebody like Mercedes says probably 10 kilos, whereas Ferraris is probably a lot more.
Yeah. The one
But
team
yeah,
I'm keeping my eye on weight wise is Alpine, though, because they're at the base. They're as light as they can be.
which means they have lots of room for improvement.
Exactly. And they had a pretty interesting front wing at testing. It's, the nose is like completely flat. There's no arching to it, really. And,
Yeah,
they say that they've already got some pretty big wing upgrades that they're going to be bringing. So it'll be interesting to see how that competes early, but for development purposes and for how that French driver tandem goes, I'm going to have my eyes on those cars.
yeah. They've got if we're going off of anything from day one, they don't have anything to really, let's see, will blow your eyes out with. They were just kind of midfield at best.
Yeah, a little bit of passengers to the practice day, but
Yeah,
we'll hope that they can bring some more to day two.
yeah.
Speaking of just looking at the clock, that starts in about an hour and a half.
Oh boy, I'm about to go to bed.
For bed, what's that? Uh, what I think the big question mark out of the testing so far is McLaren. Like, do something. Are you
Well,
seriously in the same spot you were last year? Like the exact same spot you were last year? At least your brakes aren't on fire. But you
true.
still spent most of the first day of testing not driving the car.
Well, whatever they did, they found something in the session two because Lando was, I believe, sixth, fifth, maybe.
But did you watch his laps?
No, they didn't show him.
They looked horrible. And
Yeah,
like not like I'm not no professional Formula 1 driver, but he did not look comfortable. The car looked like it was jumping all over the curbs on him, and
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that lap he did the whole run wide where Max overtook Lewis and he had to give it back.
Turn
Whatever it is.
five,
Yeah.
I think.
But
Nope, turn four. Turn
okay.
four. Turn four.
But they were leaving those laps up on the board. Like I think Max set his best time while also doing that.
Yeah, he set his early.
Yeah. But 157 laps from the Dutchman
Oof. Alone, setting
alone.
the highest amount on the first day of testing.
I think he got more laps than the next two drivers put together,
Well,
or close to,
yes.
because they were like
No,
80 something.
that is 100% correct. Um, I don't remember what they were, but it was like an 80 and a 70.
Yeah, like that's a lot of running. And there was some stuff I saw, uh, just floating around in the Twitterverse and where everybody's spitting the news that Red Bull's almost like surprised how well it went.
Yeah, except when their jack broke. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
Yeah, they were. It was one of the last stints. They were changing tires, kind of like a practice pit, and the rear jackman was standing there, and the car almost dropped on his foot.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because the jack base that like actually slides under the car and lifts the car up had kind of like snapped, and the entire car just kind of rolled down almost on his foot.
Wow. That
This is also with no tires on the car either, shall we say? So the car slammed to the ground.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's not good. Didn't
Yeah,
McLaren do that last year? They put the car down without any
probably,
wheels on it.
probably. Wouldn't doubt it, especially what happened last year.
Thinking about that, I don't. I've been like passively browsing motorsport jobs, and there's a ton of like F1 positions open. Like
Hmm.
Haas has a few mechanic positions open and stuff like that. I haven't seen a single one at McLaren, and last year we watched a guy try to put the fucking wheel on backwards.
Hey, well, at least,
Like that's
yeah.
that's some Jiffy Lube stuff right there, man. Come
Well, it
on.
couldn't be any worse than Mercedes putting on the wrong tires for George Russell
That is much
2 years
worse.
ago. 2 years ago.
That is much worse.
That's what I'm saying. Couldn't be any worse,
Oh man.
especially in a winning position.
Yeah. Oh. Hey,
But
but that's not as bad as getting the record for the for the longest pit stop in F1
true,
history. Oh,
true. Not that that's something to brag about.
no, but
I'll tell you who's not getting the longest pit stop award is Lance Stroll.
he's getting the longest emergency medical trip out of anybody right now.
Yeah, missing the entirety of the testing sessions.
Yeah, and I see we got a little note here. Rumor has it he's broken both his wrists.
That is unconfirmed. That is what I heard. I don't know if it was true, but if it was, that is not good.
No, that's very hard to recover from in
Hmm.
general, and then also trying to take the G forces of driving an open wheel race car.
Yeah.
That's gonna take a decent bit of rehab. I wonder if he's gonna be missing races if that's true.
Well, potentially because as we speak, the first race is in less than 10 days.
Uh
9 days and some change.
yeah, good point. If he broke his wrist, he's not racing. He's gonna need at
Uh,
least a month.
yeah, what I'm seeing here on the news for Lance Stroll is uncertain on whether Lance Stroll will drive. So it looks like Felipe Drugovich could be making his F1 debut earlier than he expected.
Interesting. And he's another guy like Nick DeVries who's gonna be itching to make the most of that opportunity, especially after seeing him get a seat.
Yeah, and immediately after dominating in F2.
Yeah, it's good to see, but it'll be interesting to see if Lance comes back. Obviously, I mean everybody shits on him, but we wish him the best. Nobody wants to see somebody have their career stopped short by an accident.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty brutal. Excuse me.
And I don't know. I A lot of people rag on that Mercedes, but I really like their aero concept this year.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of it.
It like do not get me wrong, it looks ugly as all hell.
Yeah.
It looks like the Alpine from last year, but even worse. But if they manage to combine the zero pod with the Ferrari bathtub experiment on the rear half of the car, like they may make one hell of a fast machine. Like I'm thinking by Miami, we'll really know how fast Mercedes is.
When did we know when they were officially slow? Was it Imola?
I think it was Miami
Was
when
it Miami?
when they were going down the straight and losing speed because of how much they were porpoising.
Yeah. I just remember Imola being a big one because Lewis was fighting for P16.
That's right. Isn't that the one where he got lapped by Max?
Yeah, early, like
Yeah,
very early.
I remember laughing at that. It's like,
And there was, I think it was that same race that Lewis asked, "How far are we from?" And Bono came back and said, "It's a matter of how close he is to you." He goes, "Wait, is he behind me?"
Jesus.
Yeah. So I think that was a realization for at least Lewis that they were in trouble.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, kudos to them. They made a hell of a turnaround. They went from that to getting a win by the end of the season.
Yeah. In Brazil, a
Brazil.
1-2 perhaps.
They brought back the spicy engine.
Which I've heard reports of issues.
Yeah, that would not be good.
No.
We did have that Mercedes engine supplier talk last time,
Hmm.
and who knows, maybe we'll have to bring it back. Cause yeah,
Now, the one thing that stood out the most had to have been number 14, the GOAT. His name must not be spoken to in a mirror 3 times. Fernando Alonso,
Fernando Alonso.
P2. How about that?
That was nuts.
What are we
Like,
thinking?
as an Aston fanboy, I'm loving it. But as an
Yeah.
F1 fanboy, I'm terrified
I,
because it may mean Jack.
for sure. And Fernando is notorious for going um, to a new team at the wrong time.
Yeah, that was one of the jokes they made during the broadcast. After literally right after he set the lap, they're like, "Did he actually go to a team at the right time for once?"
Yes, I remember that one. I remember that. That was very funny.
But
But
yeah,
for being, what was it, 500s, 400s?
something like that. Very on inside a tenth from Max, and
Yeah.
the next closest was 3/10, I think.
A little over 4 from Carlos Sainz.
Wow. So that's big. That's big looks early, and it looked like the Red Bull was a machine early.
Yeah.
Like everybody was writing it off as another early championship contender, and then Alonso just comes up and says, "Noom."
I think the real test is for when Checo gets in the car tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Um, just because he's not Max, and Max is, I think, a unicorn
yeah, and I mean it's Max's car.
for sure. So I think wherever Checo can do, or whatever Checo can do with it, is going to be more of where it competes.
The yeah, and the one thing that'll be definitely talked about if Checo does really well in the car is the rumor from the off season that he was apparently pushing engineers to make the car more drivable for his driving style.
Oh, saucy.
Yeah, and that started to pick up after the Brazil or the Brazil incident.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. kind of presume is that when it all kind of initiated.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you know what? Team's not gonna work for me. Car better work for me.
Exactly. And it has occasionally a couple races.
Yeah, he's definitely found his form. I mean, the guy's caught wins since coming to the Red Bull,
Mm-hmm.
but Azerbaijan wasn't his win because he deserved it. It was win because of Max not
Max
being able
and
to finish.
even Lewis bottling it, I think.
Yeah, that was the infamous the one that keeps getting made a meme of with James May, and he's like, "What is going on with this steering wheel? There's so many buttons. There's buttons on the back. I don't know what these do." And then he locks up into
Oh,
turn one.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Classic that one is.
Classic. I don't
We'll
know.
see though. We shall see.
Definitely. I know. Regardless of how the numbers look and where people sit, I'm just happy to have it back.
Yeah, me too. With it especially being right around the corner, I know testing is not exhilarating, but it's like the little foreplay you have before, you know? It's like your salad or your soup before entree comes.
Exactly. Foreplay, maybe not exactly, but you know, most of your points were right on there.
Yeah, I was reaching for the stars on some of them, so um now gonna swing it over a bit. I feel like we covered quite a bit at F1. We got a few more things to talk about.
We do.
Which one would you like to start with?
Let's go with door number one.
Okay, who's behind door number one?
Door number one is the 5 hours of Imola.
Oh, 5 hours of Imola. Tell me about it.
So, Imola, it's got many corners, some to the left, some to the right, and this
Okay.
race is going to be for 5 hours.
Okay.
You're going to have a
Tell me
max.
about it.
Teams of up to two drivers with a maximum stint time of 65 minutes are going to be competing across three classes of splits: the gold, silver, and open splits. I believe those still have not been finalized again, but people are also going to be moving divisions before then, so that could change your team evaluation. But it's essentially based on your combination of what division you and your teammates are in that places you into a different pace bracket, and that'll be your gold, silver, and open. Everybody's
I
going
am.
to have to manage three total dry tires across the entire weekend, including qualifying, and yes, that does include the free practice session.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't.
something that
Ah,
not a lot of people think about. Free practice
yes.
is the same session, it still counts. Throw in variable weather and a good chance of rain, and this race is proven to be a good one. March 11th, starting at 7:30. I don't remember if that is the time for qualifying to start or if that is the time that we're going to have the drivers briefing, but in and around that 7:30 mark, be ready for the action to get kicked off.
For sure. Now, what I was gonna say is I'm absolutely a big fan of the new ranking system that they have put in place for these um, endurance races.
As am
I don't
I.
know about yourself.
I love
Yeah,
it.
because you go get the top two guys in D1 and ain't nobody beating them.
Yeah,
So
unless you're
I
number
think
3.
exactly. But I think it just offers more opportunity. I think it brings a different aspect into the race. You're not racing certain people, so um, your targets are somewhere else. So I think that's what makes it very, very fun.
Exactly. And the one thing that's also nice is I know for myself, I got a few friends that I enjoy racing with, but we're all very different skill levels. This allows you to have, say, you who's, or person X who's in D2 and person Y who's in, say, like D6, go team up together and still have a championship or a title to compete for in the race. You're not just like, well, we're just going to have fun with it.
Yeah,
You could still walk away with the top of your split. So,
yeah, that's it's very fun, and it brings so much more motivation into it
exactly.
because your teams are so more balanced in your split
Exactly.
that it's more you're more what am I looking for? What word am I looking? You're more. Um,
Engaged.
yes, engaged. I'd say that's a quality word to use in this aspect. You're more engaged for the entire race. When it gets down closer, you might be in 12th, but you could be second in your division.
Exactly. And that's kind of like the same way we do the gold and silvers. Like, you, not everybody's capable of fighting up at the top, and I mean, none of us are professionals and all of this stuff, so we're not doing it for a career. We're trying to have fun with this. So when we can make it so
Exactly.
everybody get, I mean, not everybody, but like every split gets the opportunity to race for a title,
Hmm.
it's nice. It's fun, and yeah, keeps everybody more engaged.
Yeah, and it makes staying up till 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning worth it.
Exactly. I mean, this is going to be nice. It should only end around midnight, but
We say that.
yeah, by the time we get through
Knock
the
on wood.
2 hour driver's briefing, and
Yep.
it's okay. We love you, Tyler.
Yes. But one more thing on that note, I think it is time we officially announce that Josh Damiani and I, myself, sorry, retarded moment, are teaming up for this one.
Woot woot woot.
Woot
Yes,
woot. Can I
first
get some
ever
woots in the chat?
woots in the chat. First ever SRA grid report team. It's gonna be
Yes.
here to spin, spin, and win at Imola.
Yes. In no specific order.
Nope, no specific order. Maybe it would be nice if we could save the spins for after, but
Yes.
we'll do what we can.
We figured that since we always qualify next to each other and always end up together somehow, it's safer if we're not on the track together at the same time.
Exactly. One less car that I'm magnetically attracted to.
Exactly. Makes it a lot easier.
Definitely. And while we keep this train rolling, let's go take a look behind door number 2. We've got the first round of the Assetto Corsa multi-class WEC Follow Along Championship starting up March 4th at Sebring. These are 1 hour races, if I'm not mistaken. We've got
You are
GT.
mistaken.
I am? What are they?
You are mistaken. Some races will not be. I think the max there will be 2.5 hours, 2.4, something like that.
Okay.
So there's going to be some variation.
Oh,
So it's not all going to be an hour. It's going to be an hour minimum. I believe Sebring is an hour though.
gotcha. Well, I guess my silly self should read that part at the bottom of the thing there where it says race durations will vary. Check details for more information. But, you know,
It's so.
we did
It's
we
11 o'clock.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. It's not 11 o'clock.
it's
It's
12:40.
midnight for me. It's 1 o'clock for you.
That's okay. We planned on
Oh
initially
boy.
having 1 hour races, but regardless, this series looks like it's going to be a whole boatload of fun, and I know that's my favorite term to use, but I use it when it's worth being used. Registrations, though, we still got a lot of spots. The hypercar class has 8 registrants, the LMP2 class has 4, and the GT class has 3. There's 18 spots open in the GT class. I know I'm gonna go register because I haven't done it yet. We do have times. Um, I guess you could call them classification times or qualification times.
Yeah.
Just essentially like making sure you're going to be competitive with the field because this is a whole different class of car than we're used to driving. So making sure that we're all going to be able to have safe and have fun. But once you do that, you can get registered on up. So if you're in the Discord, make sure you get your Assetto Corsa roll, get in touch with anybody in there, and get yourself rolling. But this race is coming up quickly, and the next ones, I don't know. This Discord moves pretty quick. Like they're gonna be here before you know it.
Yeah. They're scheduled to be once a month, I believe. After this one, it's going to be April 10th.
Yeah, I believe
Is
there
that what
is
it
an
says?
issue. It says April 4th, but something tells me that there was an issue
Yeah.
with that race. I remember that being changed.
Yes. I think it's April 10th.
It's,
Don't quote me on that. Nope, that's false because that's a Friday.
well,
No, it's not. That's a Monday.
once we
That's a Monday.
once we start April, we'll be having one more race, and once we get closer, like with the race variations, there'll be an announcement. There'll be links, reference times, information, and everything to keep up to date with it. It's been really cool what Kevin's been throwing together for us here with this little side championship, and it's a great place to go blow off some steam and have fun with people from different divisions.
Exactly. And different classes of racing as well. So who doesn't love a multi-class race?
Exactly. Multi-class is always a boatload of fun. But I think on that note, we've got no doors left.
No, I think all the doors have been opened. I think it's just time for some medication.
I like your style. Medication Nation. It's been Josh. It's been Bailey. It's been a tough one. And we'll
It's
see
been
you
a long
next
one.
week.